Hello and welcome to History TV. Today we're going to be looking at why the Vikings were such successful raiders. Here joining us, Professor Pleepquitz.
Hello, Presenter Devo. Yes, it is true. The Vikings were very successful raiders, and there's quite a few reasons why.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, well, the main reasons the Vikings were such successful raiders is because they had the weapons and armor, the ships, the tactics and warfare, and the warriors for it. Let's focus on the first point, the warriors. The warriors of the Viking army were fierce, tough, and trained from ages as young as 12. They were trained to be brutal and kill without hesitation. They were also very fit and well fed. The pay was also quite good.
What else made the Vikings such successful raiders?
The most important factor of the Vikings' successful as raiders is the longships. The strength, maneuverability, and speed of the longship gave the Vikings vital key advantages. The choice between sail and oars allowed the Norse warriors to row until land was sighted and then proceed silently under sail during the night or in the early morning. This gave their attacks the element of surprise. The Drekka, or dragon-headed longships, were stealthy troop carriers. They could cross the open oceans under sail and then switch to oars for lightning-fast hit-and-run attacks on undefended towns and monasteries, far surpassing contemporary English or Frankish vessels in lightness and efficiency. Longships could carry Viking raiders from northern England to northern Africa. Vikings were the Nar, or ocean-going cargo vessel, which facilitated far-flung trade networks and the colonization of Iceland, Greenland, and America. Viking expertise in naval craftsmanship soon led to the evolution of other types of ship as well. The Nar drew on a similar design principles as the longship, but was higher and wider in relation to its length and had only limited numbers of oars to assist with maneuvers in narrow channels. Cargo decks were installed before and after.
What were the sizes of these longships?
Well, the sizes of the Viking ships varied, whether they were trade or battleships. Now, the trade ships were about 15 meters, so about from here.
That's 50 feet for you Americans.
To here. Yeah, from here. Battleships were about 20 meters. Here. Both ships were about 9 meters long, so that was up to here.
Is there anything else that made the Vikings such successful raiders?
The weapons, tactics, and warfare were also key to their success, Presenter David. Quintessential Viking strategy was to show up at a town or monastery suddenly and without warning, with anything they could get their hands on in a short order, and then vanish in their ships before the local military forces could be mustered against them. Over the course of the Viking Age, raids of this sort increased greatly in scale. Early raids involved a handful of ships under the command of chieftains, whose power was relatively modest. As the power of the command of the chieftains grew over the course of the Viking Age, over the scale on which they were able to raid increased proportionally. Later, raids, beginning in the mid-9th century, sometimes involved hundreds of ships under the command of one or more rulers, who, by this point, sometimes banded together to form even more formidable armies. Targets of Viking raids included small, poorly defended towns and isolated farms. The main bounty of these raids was cattle. The Vikings became known for surprise attacks and quick retreats. They could row their light, swift ships into shallow rivers and then drag them ashore. They often struck so fast that their victims had no time to defend themselves.
How did the weapons and armor contribute to the Vikings becoming such successful raiders?
The Vikings mainly fought with swords, spears, and axes. The broad axe had a long handle. Its large flat blade had a curved, cutting edge. The Viking warrior used two hands to swing the broad axe at an opponent. The Viking sword, however, had a broad, two-edged blade of iron or steel. The fighter swung the sword with a chopping or hacking motion, aiming at the opponent's arms or legs to disable them. Most Viking warriors carried round wooden shields for protection, Many raiders also wore armor made from thick layers of animal hides. Some of the hides had bones sewn into them for added protection. Viking warriors also wore cone-shaped helmets made of leather. The myth that they wore horns on their helmets is not actually true. Viking leaders wore metal helmets and coats of metal armor.
Thank you, Professor Flipquist, for joining us.
It has been very honoured.